so far this Corsa has been a pretty fun project to work on. But for some reason, with what I'm about to do to the car next, I think I might have bit off more than I can chew.
And so far, this car has been an absolute pleasure to work on. It's been fun, cheap and enjoyable, and you guys seem to be loving it. The car looks quite different from when we first got it, but there's still a lot more we can do to make it stand out from the rest.
And we've also done some repairs. Now, I uploaded a little update video in which I was debating getting a different project and starting that one off by wrapping it, but you guys have been loving the Corsa videos, the views have been amazing, and I thought the only kind of way to see this project off is if I see through with the original plans. So yeah, we are going to be wrapping it, and the colour is outrageous. That right there is the vinyl that is going to be going on the Corsa, but before I reveal that, you're going to have to wait till next video, which should be out Sunday, to see the colour. Now, before we get into all that mess of me trying to wrap a car for the first ever time, last video we started doing a few repairs that needed doing to this car.
Now, with this car just about hitting 80,000 miles on the clock, we had to do a few repairs. The first one was the rocker cover gasket. It was seeping oil out down onto the manifold, which was causing it to absolutely reek and also start steaming.
Now, the second repair is got a little bit interesting. We actually decided to change the thermostat because I was having a few kind of weird issues with the temperature gauge inside the car, which after doing this job and reading a lot of the comments, you guys seem to think that it is the coolant temperature sensor, not the thermostat. So after changing the thermostat and pretty much bleeding the whole coolant system, I was getting no heat at all coming through the vents. Even with the heat on fully hot all the way up, I was getting no heat whatsoever. It was just like, just air. It wasn't hot, it wasn't cold, it was just air. Now, after reading a lot of the comments, a lot of you guys are leaning towards the heater matrix. There's two pipes that go down the back here, two coolant hoses, and one of them's hot, one of them's cold, which makes me think that the matrix might need bleeding, or there might be an air bubble in the heater matrix somewhere. But before we mess around with all of that, the easiest job to do is the coolant temperature sensor, and I've got one right here. It's right in the front of the engine bay. It's dead easy to change, so let me go get the tools out and we'll, fingers crossed, solve this issue.
Now, like I said, luckily the temperature sensor is really easy to access. It's just to the left of the engine. You can get it by using a 19mm spanner, take it out and replace it with a new one.
You wear a hat, they call dad. Me, I'm the dad in a hat. You just like clubbing and clothes. Me, I like afternoon naps. 3, I be missed for the road. My oldest like counting racks. My middle one, she's in the dirt.
That was pretty easy to do. To be fair, if you've got the standard airbox in, you're probably going to have to remove it. Luckily, I could just move my air filter up there, remove this pipe, which gave me enough room to just get a spanner in that little bit of a gap. You can't get a socket on it, unfortunately. There's just not enough room, but yeah, pretty easy job. Now, for what it takes, I'm going to re-bleed the system. Obviously, I've just had the temperature sensor out, so it has kind of let a bit of air in the system. So I'm going to take the cap off and give all the hoses I can a squeeze and just make sure that the system is bled. If we do get heat, then that is job sorted. If not, then I'm not expecting it to work because that seemed too easy for the job to be sorted. So we'll see.
Young in my 20s, I celebrate. This one for the dads, let me dedicate. Head of the house like the head of state. Bring home the cash and the...
Right, I'm pretty sure there's not much more I can do except kind of just sit in the car and hopefully wait for the heating to come on. I've not got high hopes, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, do you know when things seem too easy? They 9 times out of 10 are. We're pretty much up to temperature now, and it is completely pretty much cold air coming out still. So we're gonna have to do a bit more digging and find out why that is happening.
Now, after doing endless amounts of research, I think I might have come up with a bit of a solution. I'm just hoping this one works.
And I'm pretty sure I might have found the issue. Obviously, we've changed the temperature sensor, we've changed the thermostat, that is all brand new, so we can eliminate all of that. The only thing I haven't dived into is the heater matrix. Now, the heater matrix is obviously back down here, and I'm pretty sure the actual matrix is just behind here where the footwell is. But one thing I've noticed is the pipe on the left going into the heater matrix. That pipe seems fairly warm, but the one on the right, not as much. I'm wondering whether the heater matrix is blocked, or if one of the wires is, if one of the hoses is maybe clamped up. So I might just take the heater matrix out. Apart from that, I really don't understand why we're not getting heat through the vents. I just can't figure it out. Now I think my best bet is just to kind of start from scratch. Take as many of the radiator hoses off that I can that are pretty easy to get to, and just completely flush the system. We'll go inside, take the heater matrix out, make sure that's not blocked, and we'll just try and bleed it again. Honestly, I'm proper stuck with this one. I don't get why the heaters are now not working, and all I did was change the thermostat. I just don't understand why. Maybe there is a bleed nipple somewhere. Someone did message me and say there's a bleed nipple. I don't seem to be able to find one, although that's most likely air conditioning. No, what is that? What is that nipple? That looks like something fuel rail related. I don't think that's it. I just can't seem to find a bleed nipple for any coolant, so I don't think it's that. I just don't, I'm confused. I'm very confused, and all the answers that you guys have given so far haven't led to anything except the matrix. So I guess we'll give it a go. We've got no harm in trying, so let me get the tools out, we'll get the car jacked up, and we'll have a go at the matrix. I'll tell you what, boys, before we start, I'm starving. Now, how many of you guys have done what I've done, got a little bit comfortable in life and put a few pounds on? Yeah, I'm guilty. Now, I'm trying to put a stop to that, and luckily this video is sponsored by HelloFresh, and they're a massive contribution of my dieting. It is very, very stressful to try and eat good things when you're in such a busy mindset like myself. You're always on the go, but HelloFresh makes it that one step easier of keeping on top of your diet. Now, you might be wondering, what is HelloFresh? HelloFresh is a meal kit delivery service that offers weekly shipments of groceries and meals straight to your door, making it easy to keep on top of your diet. Now, ordering HelloFresh is really simple. All you have to do is go ahead and download their app from the App Store and fill out the options of what you want to eat. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make an order on HelloFresh of what I want to eat this upcoming week. So we're going to start off with Calorie Smart, because I'm trying to lose some weight with a diet. So what I preferably want is something that is going to be low in calories. So I'm going to highlight that box, click continue, and now it wants to know what are your food goals with HelloFresh. And mine is to save time and eat wholesome meals. So I'm going to select both of them options. Now, a few of my personal favourites that are under the Calorie Smart section with HelloFresh is the chicken korma style curry, pork meatballs in a rich tomato sauce, and last but not least, the creamy tomato Cajun chicken. They're just some of my favourites that I like to order from HelloFresh, and they do keep me going throughout the week. And don't forget, guys, when you do order HelloFresh, you can use the code Jesse60HF or scan the QR code on the screen now to get yourself a huge discount. And remember, with HelloFresh, you can pause, cancel, or change your address at any time you need. So remember, that's Jesse60HF to get started with HelloFresh, and a massive thank you to them for helping me with my diet and also sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it. And while that's also draining, I think it's worth me taking these panels off and just making sure that the matrix is getting hot. Because if the matrix is getting hot, then it's really weird while the fans aren't getting hot. But I'll take this off now. The car has been running, the car's currently warm, and I'll just see if the matrix behind here is actually warm to touch. Okay, so I'm feeling this heater matrix and it is actually hot. So why is that hot? Like, that is red hot, and that looks pretty new, to be honest. Like, that looks fairly new, but that is hot, and the fans work. I don't get it. If we turn the ignition on, turn it to hot, the fans are working. Why That is really, really bizarre. I was honestly expecting this to be cold, and I can feel the fan blowing. I can actually... That is definitely working. I don't know. While that's draining, I'm just going to take as many of these pipes off as I can and just make sure that they're all circulating, see if there's any blockages. I know this one's okay because I can feel that this one's getting hot, but there's got to be air somewhere in the system. I just don't know where.
Now, a lot of you may have noticed that when I was testing to see if the heater matrix was getting hot, I didn't actually touch or feel above the other pipe. There's obviously two halves to the matrix, the half that goes in and the half that comes back out, and I only tested one half.
I might have found the problem. So this pipe going, I believe, to the water pump is completely dry, like completely dry. Yeah, there has been no water getting to that whatsoever. So I'm wondering whether this pipe's blocked or we may have a water pump issue, which is not good at all, if I'm honest. Yeah, that's never good. I'm gonna see if I can take this entire hose off. I believe this one's connected to it. Yeah, that is bone dry in there. So turns out I couldn't get to that bottom radiator clamp without taking the whole bumper off, taking the radiator out and stuff like that. So I thought I'd try and test it. So I got the hose pipe, I put it in the top radiator hose which goes to the expansion tank, and pretty much we are getting water out of that pipe. That's going through there, and as you can see, that is pure water coming out of there. So there isn't a blockage in the radiator, it is flowing. Oh no, I've soaked everywhere. The hose pipe let go and it's absolutely solid everywhere, but I've got the thermostat housing off. I'm going to fill that up now, and hopefully, I'm guessing that should all come out this hose. So it goes, yeah, let's try it. Here we go. The radiator is not blocked, so we don't have any blockages. It's coming out the... Right, okay. Oh God, how do I turn this off now? All the system has been fully flushed out. All there was coming out was water. And we managed to spill no coolant at all. So yeah, all that was coming out was water. There was nothing else but water. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jack this side of the car up. If I jack the car up here, where the expansion tank is, that should be the highest point of the car. So it will hopefully mean that any air that is in the system will come out to the highest point, which will be there. I mean, it's kind of a little bit higher than the radiator, but let's just do it for safe measure, just to make sure. Here goes nothing. Let's just fill it up, we'll turn it on, and hopefully it bleeds. Okay, so obviously the heaters are blowing cold now. The temperature is at the very bottom, so I know what it's like when they blow cold. Heaters are on full max, full heat. We'll let it bleed and see if it changes. And as suspected, it's still cold. Absolutely bone cold. One thing I have noticed though is this heater matrix pipe, the one on the right is red hot. This one is stone cold. There has to be a blockage. There has to be a blockage in the matrix. So I'm just going to drain it and take the matrix completely out instead of just feeling it, because it has to be blocked somehow. Now the car is actually up to temperature. Yeah, if I feel the top of the matrix, that is hot. The bottom is stone cold. The bottom is completely cold. So there's definitely a problem with the matrix. It's got to come out. Let me just jack the car up, drain all the coolant again, and we'll get this matrix out. We may need to get another one, or see if we can unblock this one, but yeah, let me get that out. Well, we've got it off. Obviously, goes without saying, don't do this when the coolant's absolutely roasting. Learn by my mistakes. Do as I say, not as I do, because that really burnt. But we move. Guess I'll just wait for that to kind of drain, and then we can get it out somehow. I think I found the cause of the problem. Check this out. So this matrix is fully, oh my god, I've never seen anything like it. Look, check this out. It's fully gunked. Looks like I'm sticking my finger somewhere. I shouldn't be. But wait till you see this. The amount of gunk I can feel that is blocking this matrix. Look at all that gunk. That is absolutely insane. Hold on. Like, look, one side's coming out, the other side barely. I now know why we've not got no heat. Let me get this in the garden and we'll test my theory. All right, I couldn't film it because I was getting absolutely soaked at the same time. But I've run the hose, and we've got a pretty high pressured hose. Run the hose through one side and kept doing it through both sides to make sure that there was no gunk coming out. It is now crystal clear water coming out of this hole and coming out of this hole. I just think this was completely blocked up. The amount of gunk that came out of it was insane. So I'm sure this is the actual problem. Whether it is fully unclogged at the minute or not, I'm not sure. But at least we know this is a problem. We're finally going to have heating in the Corsa. I can get another one of these. I don't think they're too expensive. But the main thing is we've found the issue. So I'm going to put this back in and just see if it'll work. Even the heater fans have come in now. The fans are fully on. Trying to cool the car down, but we've got no heat still. Got no heat at all. And the temperature is actually starting to like kind of overheat. It's never been that high before, so I really don't know. I'm just going to let it carry on bleeding and see if an air bubble comes out or something, but I don't know, man. Maybe the matrix is completely blocked and we do just need a brand new one. That could easily be the case, but I'm just going to keep letting this do its thing, but I've not got high hopes. This pipe is still cold, so I think we just need a new heater matrix maybe. I think that would be the only way of solving this issue. I don't know, man. I refuse to let this car beat me. I am going to fix it, and I'm going to make sure that it doesn't win. I've got a few options. Now, obviously yesterday we completely flushed the whole system. We made sure that none of the actual pipes were blocked. But the only pipe that we haven't actually checked is the pipe coming out of the matrix and going in to, I think this is the other side of the water pump. I'm now wondering whether it's this pipe that's actually blocked and not the matrix itself. If that doesn't work, then I'm going to have to just bite the bullet and buy a new matrix. I think they're 40 quid, but I just think for the sake of just having a quick look and seeing if that pipe's blocked, we could save ourselves 40 quid and the car will be fixed. So I'm not going to drain all the coolant. I'm just going to put a bucket underneath or a towel underneath and just have a quick look at this pipe. Oh, and for those people that have ever doubted me reading the comments, don't worry, I read every single comment. We've got a 20 quid gazebo. I'm not gonna lie, it's not the sturdiest. I mean, the whole thing just moved. It's not the sturdiest bit of equipment I've ever used, but I'm gonna get some string and try and tie it down a little bit, just so we've got a bit of an area to work on the car. I mean, this is kind of a tester. This is very flimsy. It's already bent there, it's ripped in the corner, but it's kind of a tester to see if this could work during the winter. We could even get a light, hang a light up in the middle, but yeah, this is just a tester. Okay, back to the Corsa now. Something very odd is I've just took this pipe off and there is no coolant in there whatsoever, but there is loads of gunk. So I'm wondering whether this is just clogged up with gunk. It's not looking too good in there, to be honest. Probably should get the hose pipe in there and see if I can get majority of that out. I'm not sure what the pipe's looking like. I'm going to see if I can get this whole thing off and just have a look to see if it is blocked anywhere, but that pipe's definitely not getting no fluid to it. So yeah, very strange. I'm not sure. As far as I can see, I've run the hose pipe through this. This isn't blocked. So that hose going to the, obviously the firewall, which goes to the matrix, that isn't blocked. I've squirted some water down this pipe just to make sure that isn't blocked going to the matrix. That seems okay. And I've just squirted a load of water down this hole to make sure that isn't blocked. So I'm going to start the car and just make sure that there is water coming out of the matrix. Obviously that's the inlet, this is the outlet that goes back into the engine, and I'm just going to see if the coolant is making it round there. I've got a big towel underneath, so don't worry about coolant going everywhere. But yeah, because if there's no coolant coming in or out of there, or out or in of there, then we know that the matrix is probably blocked. So we'll see. I mean, obviously, yeah, I guess we'll see. Okay, the car is on, and as you can see, if I squeeze the inlet pipe, water is coming out of the matrix. So the matrix isn't the problem. Maybe water's just not getting around, or maybe that pipe was actually blocked. There was a lot of crud come out of it. So I think we should just put it back together and try our theory again. I mean, I don't know why there isn't. Is that starting to come out on its own? I'm honestly getting really confused with it. I don't really get what else it could be. I guess the best thing to do now is, while the engine's running, try and let it get up to temperature, wait until the thermostat opens, which this is already starting to get quite hot. Okay, so there isn't a problem with it circulating through the water pump. If I squeeze the thermostat pipe, that is coming out. So I don't get it, man. Okay, I think I know what the issue is, but this video has gone on for too long. So what we're going to do in next video, we're going to start by finishing the repair on the Corsa, and then we're going to end with a full wrap prep and wrap reveal for the Corsa. I'm sorry we didn't get it all done in this video. It's gone on for way too long now, but the Corsa should be fixed. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. I will see you in the next one.